Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I'm finally back in after catching Pokemon in this beautiful weather, and as is apparently a Christmas Eve tradition, almost getting in a fist fight with a homeless person. I'll just tell you right now, if you come up and ask me for cigarettes after I lost to Giovanni 3 times in a row, and then you decide to be a dick about it, I'm gonna get all up in your shit real quick. And hey, speaking of stuff that pisses me off, we're gonna do the 12 cards of Christmas that should have been banned from Standard. You could call it the top 12 most annoying. These aren't in any particular order, because, I mean, some of them are just, I mean, how would you even rank them? But yeah, I think this is like the first Christmas video I've ever made. I've made over 2,000 videos. So let's jump into it with number 12, Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. Free casting doesn't work. It's not fair. It's not fun. Everybody hates it. Yes, he has no evasion. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I am so sick of people in my comment section saying, yeah, but this isn't that good of a card because you can destroy it. Ah, yes, we've never had a popular played card in any deck in the history of Standard Constructed ever that doesn't have hexproof and indestructible. You're right. You guys want to know a special Christmas secret? Not everybody has creature removal in their hand 100% of the time. Next up at spot number 11, we've got Fires of Invention because, as I previously stated, free casting is bullshit. It has never worked. Nobody wants it in the game. It is a 100% lose-lose. Either it's a useless, pointless, worthless piece of shit card that's too slow and too ineffective that nobody plays, or it isn't. And then people play it, and people win with it. There's no upside. There is no positive to free casting. Everything in Magic is based off of costing something. The amount of mana you pay to do a thing or cast a thing is so inherently important to the fabric of Magic the Gathering, you cannot just come in and say, well, free for all. Obviously, multiple dumbasses at Wizards of the Coast thought that these were fair cards because they put restrictions on them. I mean, Golos is only the top 3, and Fires, I don't remember, what is it, like something about lands or some bullshit? It never applies. So anyway, on the 9th day of Christmas, Wizards gave to us, for some f***ing reason, Fae of Wishes. So I can hand pick the ideal creature, 1 of 15 of my choice, and put it directly into my hand, so that I have exactly what I need to win the game. I could go fetch a combo piece. One of the giant creatures has a special effect called, board wipe. This is just crap. Plus, the whole, you own outside the game? Okay, well, I needed my sideboard to be a sideboard, so in best of 3 standard paper, this is pointless. And then on Arena, your sideboard is just 15 random cards. It's not even a sideboard. It's just literally a extra deck from Yu-Gi-Oh! For this card. Bare minimum, this card should be banned in best of 1. Bare minimum. And then when it comes to like, I'm going to build a real sideboard for the first 11 cards, but then I got to put 4 cards in that I can fetch with this. You need a full sideboard, trust me. If you want to beat everything and have an answer to everything, you usually need more than 15 cards. So this is just encouraging bad deck building. I mean, it's that simple. Oh, and by the way, then you can pay 2, discard 2 cards and return it to hand so you can do it again. I mean, it's recurring. It's ridiculous. This card never should have been approved. And this whole outside the game horseshit needs to stop immediately. They need to never, ever put that on another card. Moving on to the number 9 spot, which I'm pretty sure I accidentally called the last one because counting is hard, but get over it, I'm not going to re-record it. We've got Edgewall Innkeeper. Whenever you cast a creature spell that has an adventure, draw a card. So what you're really saying is every time you cast a spell, go get another spell. That usually goes well. That's always a fair and fun and balanced mechanic. I wish this fat bastard would drop dead of a heart attack. By the way, 1 cost. He's a 1 cost creature, and also he doesn't have legendary. What were they thinking? You know what? Bonus, throw the damn Clover in too. F that card. You want to go on a stupid f***ing adventure? Keep it yourself. I'm not going with you. F you. Coming in at the number 8 spot, we've got Drawn from Dreams, a card that never should have been printed. I don't know why I'm like the only person complaining about this card. This is so problematic. Look at the top 7 and then just grab 2 of them and like draw them without drawing them and without setting off a draw trigger. I mean, board wipe, planeswalker, counterspell, whatever the hell you need exactly right this second. Blue, black, and triple color decks, especially Esper, that are running this right now, basically can't be stopped. And this is fueling most of the Fires of Inventions decks. You cannot give somebody this kind of consistency, and honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with this if it cost 6 or 7 mana, but 4, that's ridiculous. Number 7, Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Who would have possibly foreseen that when you write on a card, if you run out of cards in your library, you win the game, that somebody might build an entire deck around doing just that? Some 45-minute waste of time, game ruining, F&M ruining, round ruining, GP ruining, everything ruining piece of garbage deck where it just casts Jace at the last second and then, oh, whoopsies, I ran out of cards. Did you have a fun 40 turns? If you play this card in any deck, I hope that Santa shows up tonight, grabs your Christmas tree, and shoves it right up your ass. Oh, holy shit, we're only halfway through this one, but number 6 is a doozy. Agent of Treachery. This is one of the few times where the card is so toxic that the whole, yeah, but it costs 7 is not an excuse. They get to it. It doesn't matter. It's in Simic bullshit decks. It's in food decks. It's in control decks. It's in 3-color. It's in 4-color. It's in 5-color. It's in fires. It's in Golos. It's almost like it's not the deck that's the problem. It's the card that's the problem. And the real problem is they let it steal lands. Who the thought that was a good idea? I am so sick of this stupid card. Number 5, Knight of the Ebon Legion. You should not be able to do 9 damage with a 1 cost. That is literally my entire complaint. Oh, and it gains Death Touch, which is also bullshit. Oh, and it gets free counters, which is also bullshit. Oh, and it's not legendary, which is also bullshit. Oh, and it's a vampire and a knight, which is also bullshit. This would be a powerful card at 3 mana. The fact that they made it cost 1 and also gave it a 1/2, they clearly did not play test this card in any deck for any game ever. If they did, they don't know how to play Magic. Number 4 on this holly jolly list of Wizards' mistakes, we've got Cavalcade of Calamity. This card should have been banned slightly more times than Chain Whirler. That's how many opportunities it came up when it was known to be problematic and they just ignored it. Now, a lot of people are saying they want Chandra's little flying shitbird gone. A lot of people saying they want the haste first strike knight gone. A lot of people saying they want Chandra Acolyte of Flame gone. All of those, the actual problem is Cavalcade because it doubles their attack power. You can't just take a bunch of balanced cards that are fair but effective, very good, very competitive, and then just say, well, I wonder what they'll do at double. And the damage can't be prevented or blocked. It's ridiculous. You know what's even worse than doubling it? Number 3, tripling it. Yes, I made this number 3 on purpose. Torbrand Thane of Redfell, he makes a 1/1 hit for 3. That's all I need to say about it. You've played against him, I played against him. The second he drops into play, you lose the game. You lose that turn, there is nothing you can do. You stand 0 chance of being able to defend against anything. If Cavalcade is out, you're going to take 21 damage no matter what. And then about another 21 from the creatures. So that's bullshit. This is the number 1 most broken card in Standard right now. By far. Nothing even comes close. I mean, this is on a whole other level. But number 2 is still pretty darn annoying. It is the number 1 most overpowered card when it comes to the draw your second card each turn mechanic, which I guess they just couldn't think of a name for. So yeah, 3 damage to any target. Any target. Player, planeswalker, creature. All I have to do is draw a second card each turn. So basically it's a free removal in a deck that's already overdrawing your opponent 2-1. Those two things don't go together in fair gameplay. And number 1, we've got Nightpack Ambusher. This is the definition of a card that never should have been conceived of, never should have been approved, never should have made it through playtesting. It's just so oppressive and so ridiculous. Did they think that Simic wasn't a thing? Because they're still a thing. This rewards you with effectively a 3/3 creature for free for doing nothing. You get a creature for guaranteeing that you do nothing on your turn, which means that you can just sit on counterspells forever, or removal or whatever you want, only cast them off your turn. Have all kinds of flash counterspell creatures, flash creatures in general, but as long as you don't cast anything on your turn, you'll continue to win with your giant army of unstoppable 3/3s. It's ridiculous. It is by definition encouraging people to play draw go. That's where the only thing you ever do is react to what your opponent does. Well, eventually you have to win the game. Oh, just drop this in. And I don't care if you're going to say, oh, well, nobody plays Simic Flash anymore. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The card is still broken. It was still a terrible design idea, and it might come back anytime. So it needs to go. That's the end of our 12. Except number 0 is Chandra Awakened Inferno. She can't be countered and she gets an emblem which cannot be removed by anything in the game, any effect or spell ever printed, and that's a plus ability. So you have to deal 8 damage to her and then somehow stay alive the next turn, or she's going to keep piling them up. Oh, and there's no gap in priority passing to kill her, too. So they drop her in, hold priority, and then +2 her. Then you might be able to hit her with an instant speed removal. It can't be countered, so basically, if they have 6 mana, you are getting an emblem, and you can't remove it. To call that intrinsically unfair would be an understatement. Not to mention the rest of the bullshit that she does. I hate this card. I wouldn't care if it cost 10. I still want it gone. This effect is shit. She's overpowered. She's not fun. And there is no answer to her whatsoever. Haha, I'm so clever throwing in a 13th one at the 0 spot because I'm a computer programmer and everything stops counting at 0 in a computer, not 1. What a funny twist ending, Des. Number -1 is Wicked Wolf. You literally can't destroy this. Nothing will ever destroy this. Nothing, ever. And while you're failing to destroy it, it just keeps getting bigger. I hate this card. It is far too difficult to get rid of. You either exile it, permanently steal it, or you lose. It's really that simple. And number -2. You know what? Screw the numbers. Let's just power through this. Ember Cleave. Way too much damage. Way too much damage. You cannot give it +1 and double strike and trample. That is too much damage. And people have, what? 1 counter spell to respond to it or they die. Not even 1 phase. They have 1 resolution of the stack to stop this or they lose. This may shock you, but that's not enough time. So you can basically do an extra 10, 12, 14 damage for 2 mana. That's ridiculous. Next, Nissa Who Shakes the World. A lot of destruction cards say non-land. Well, it's a creature and a land, so I guess I'll just die. I guess I can't do anything. If I board wipe them, it's just an automatic forfeit, so I don't even get to play my deck. They don't get to play their deck. It's just a shit ending to the game. Because, whoops, I just killed 4 of your creatures, and they were also all your lands. Now you have 1 land left. Oops. Doom Foretold. I thought we were done with this scarab horse shit. Why the should I even play the game if I can't keep 1 thing on the field? 1 thing at all. 1 permanent of any kind. Next up, Dance of the Manse. Really, you didn't think that hitting somebody for 40 might be a little much? In a control color. Outlaw's Merriment. Really? Giving somebody unlimited tokens forever while spending 0 mana, tapping nothing and doing nothing. You thought that was fair. Well, as it turns out, in the decks that it's played in, it isn't fair and you can't stop it. Next up, Hydroid Crisis. Even if I counter it, they get the fucking cards anyway? Are you kidding me? And it's flying and trample. What exactly was supposed to stop this? So you just gave them more life so that they can swing away and not worry about me swinging back, then gave them cards to answer whatever I'm doing and to cover this creature, and then you gave them massive damage to win the game in the air. That's too many things, you assholes. Then there's Spark Double, another just basic restriction on the game getting too powerful, cards getting too powerful, and the deck getting too powerful. Legendary. Well, now it's gone. Have another one. Oh well. I've had people bring out 2 of just about everything you could possibly imagine. And every single time it made the gameplay feel broken, overpowered, and unstoppable, because that's exactly what it is. Next up, Icon of Ancestry. Really, free fetch with a free boost and is not even colored. Well, screw you. At least unlike some cards, it says name a creature type instead of just a color, and then your deck doesn't need to have any synergy. Next up, Steel Overseer. Wasn't this a $30 card before it was reprinted? And that's in formats that aren't standard. In formats that are standard, I mean, nobody's playing this, but in the couple decks they were, you've basically lost in 3 turns. Next up, Kaya's Wrath, and you know what? I'll send in Time Wipe as well. I mean, Time Wipe gives you your best creature back. That's ridiculously overpowered because of course you're going to drop it back in or do some ETB effect again or whatever the hell. And then Kaya's Wrath costs 1 too few mana, obviously. Board wipes in standard constructors should not cost 4, they should cost 5. Next up, Gideon Blackblade. Oh good, another thing I can't kill except for very, very, very narrow specific circumstances. That's nice, while also jacking up their life total with that life gain bullshit. Yeah, that's fair, thanks. Then Divine Visitation. Is anybody else sick of these stupid board wipe decks with Afterlife and the token generation and the whole deck revolves around Divine, and if they get it countered, they just forfeit? Oh, that's what Magic needed. Boring, stupid one-trick ponies. Those are fun. And then there's Sephara, Sky's Blade, which gives all other creatures with flying indestructible. Plus she's a flying lifelinker that's a 7/7. I mean, that's a little much. Yeah, she costs 7. Okay, whatever. Triple white. Okay, I get it. But she doesn't really cost that because, you could just pay, 1 mana and then get her out for free. Next up, Mu Yanling. Damn it, I'm trying to hit you, you stupid bitch. Get out of my way and stop screwing with my creatures. Next up, Magic Mirror, a card that next to nobody is playing, but I don't care. It turns out letting people draw basically their entire deck is not a good idea and tends to backfire. Next up, Mass Manipulation. I don't think I've ever lost a game after casting this. It's too strong, it's not restricted enough, it honestly probably should have been triple X with double blue. It is just truly ridiculous how easy it is to grab their best card early to mid game. Put it in Simic Ramp and you just win the game. I mean, I have cast this literally for 7 before. Oh, and you don't give the cards back, and you can target Planeswalkers too. Great, thanks. Next up, Liliana Dreadhorde General, who her double kill ability just does not let her die ever. You basically need to kill her directly with a spell. Otherwise, you are not going to kill her with creatures. It's virtually impossible. Her guards are ridiculous. The whole kill 2 things is ridiculous. The card is ridiculous. Her ult is game ending, her bodyguard ability is crap, and her double kill is just too oppressive. Another example of, yeah, not everybody's playing her because she costs 6, but if you get her out, it's game ending, and she's honestly too powerful for 6, which is really saying something. Then we've got Arclight Phoenix. That whole deck can go straight back to hell. Oh good, spamming draw to draw more control, while also spamming control to stop what I'm doing, countering literally everything, running Niv Mizzet as a backup, and then on top of it, oh, you get to free cast a bunch of stupid shit that you accidentally put in your graveyard. Thanks! Next up, Runaway Steamkin. Yeah, I know people just abandoned it for Cavalcade, but it was in Red Rush because it would be unstoppable when mixed with the next one, Experimental Frenzy. Yeah, another 2-for-1 special. That's how bad Cavalcade is people abandon these 2 cards in favor of just, screw it, let's go all in 1/1s. When people give up part of the best deck in the world in favor for something faster and more powerful and more reliable, that's a red flag. Yeah, it turns out giving people unlimited draw and unlimited mana is a little bit messed up. Just a little bit. Next up, Happily Ever After. Alternate win conditions can f*** off. Nobody asked for them, nobody wants them, I don't care if nobody plays them, they shouldn't exist, this card should be banned. Next up, Sarkhan the Masterless. You know the only thing worse than Super Friends deck? Turning them all into 4/4 flyers that you can't stop unless you have a way to stop 5 flying creatures at instant speed. You don't, by the way. Next up, Drakuseth, Maw of Flames. You've got to be kidding me. Every single time it swings, you can basically eliminate 3 targets. Every time. Oh, and it's 7 in the air, so I hope you didn't have, 3 flying blockers. You're gonna need a 4th one. Next up, Voracious Hydra. Just anything that says double the number of counters, that phrase should be banned, let alone this card being banned. I've been able to do 18 damage on turn 5 with this thing. It's utterly disgusting. Next up, Teferi Time Raveler, because I want to counter some things too. Next up, Kenrith. You know what the problem is with 3, 4, and 5 color decks? They can do everything. So they were just like, well, let's double down on it. Let's make this a 5 color card that by itself does everything. The draw card and the 5 life, once that gets going, you are never going to beat it. It's just that simple. Oh, and free resurrection ability. And it could target any graveyard. Great. But did you put a restriction on it? No, you didn't. So they also added free casting, and it's off color because free casting is usually blue's thing. Well, free casting from the graveyard is black's thing. I'll give them that, but still. Next up, Ethereal Absolution, or as I like to call it. Well, we didn't put legendary on this card, so I hope you didn't want to win with creatures. I've played through it, but it's almost impossible. And then they get free guarantee creatures on top of it with the ability. I mean, it's far too oppressive, far too powerful. I don't care what the mana cost is or color mix. It doesn't matter. Next up, Thief of Sanity. I am so sick of this asshole stealing my cards. If I ever catch him, I'm going to cut both of his hands off. Next up, Ral. All 4 of them. Spell duplicating. Oh, you mean free casting? And then there's Niv Mizzet. Yes, people actually still play him occasionally. So every time I try to blow this up, they get to draw a card, potentially drawing a card that will stop my blow up spell. That's fair. Next up, Swiftblade Vindicator. Who the hell thought that Double Strike and Trample was a good idea? If you cast anything on this to boost it, there goes half their life total. Just like that, instantly. Literally at instant speed. I don't know what kind of sick person would put this card in their deck, but clearly the deck is too fast, too powerful, and too hard to stop. And finally, the last one that I cared to pick out. Spoiler alert, I only looked at rares and mythics. I'm sure there's more. But yeah, the last one is Amara, Soul of the Accord. A 2/2 that can bring out unlimited tokens in a set with Convoke. Really? I think it came out when a set had Convoke, like legal at the same time. It's a whole thing. It's still legal and historic. So yeah, that's my list of the top 12 and then like 30 honorable mentions of cards that were disastrous and should have been banned already or never should have been printed. Now, okay, I took a little liberty with that. A lot of these I don't actually think should actually be within the rules removed from the game. I'm just sick of playing against them. They might actually be fair, powerful cards. I'm just personally sick of playing against them. But hey, what didn't make the list? Let me know down in the comment section. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'm going to go fight some more homeless people, and I'll see you guys next video.